Hey there, and welcome to I Reckon I'll Read It, the podcast where two oaky gals talk books, share recs, and don't hold back on their mighty big opinions. I'm Beccah.
And I'm Summer. We're so glad you're here. Go ahead and grab some sweet tea, get cozy, and get ready for some good old-fashioned book talk.
We've got a whole heap of books to talk about, and we reckon you're going to want to stick around. Bum, bum, bum. Pretty close.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's a thing for us, but you know.
I feel like it gives us more stress and pressure than like we actually need.
I know. I feel like 70% of the time it's the exact same sound. But you know, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's who we are, people. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
We're doing something different, guys. We're recording in the morning instead of at night.
We are.
Let's see if it affects our vibe at all.
We have coffee. We have caffeine.
Coffee.
We have a little bit of snackies.
Mm-hmm,
So
we're all set up.
Yeah.
I'm so ready to talk books.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm here for it.
Well, speaking of coffee and snacks and things, I have a spur of the moment question for you.
Is it you're on a food kick right now?
I guess I am. You can tell where my mind's been. Okay, what do you need around you to have like a successful reading experience? Like not audiobook. I mean, maybe audiobook if you want to take it that way. But like talking like sitting on a couch or where we talked about like some of this stuff before, but I want to know like the snacky things or like what all do you need to have a successful reading experience?
Good question. No kids.
In an ideal world.
When my kids are around me, I don't get a lot of like quality reading time, but it's okay. I read with them, so
yeah,
different type of quality reading time.
Yeah.
So I need to be in a comfy chair or in my bed. I am a bed reader. Like I like to cozy up, but I also have like a comfy chair in my house. I need like a little bit of mood lighting. I don't want really bright lights. I'm a little moody. I need like a coffee cuppy.
Spoonerism.
A cup of coffee or like usually something warm.
Yeah.
Like a chai tea latte or like coffee. I'm not a big snacky person when I read because I just want like my little warm cup and I want to have my book. I'm pretty simple. A cozy blanket.
Yeah, that is a good point. I'm also not a very snacky person when I read because I feel like I don't want things on my fingers as I'm turning pages. If I have like my Kindle, maybe I'll snack on something. But listening to you talk, I am different. Like if I read on my couch versus in my bed, I have made my bed more of like a cozy reading spot lately on your advice, actually. I got all these cute little like twinkle lights in my bedroom and I have my giant reading pillow that I got for Christmas that I have talked about extensively on this podcast, which is still amazing. So, but if I'm in my bed, I will not have any snack or drink. Like I don't eat in bed. So if I'm on my couch though, I agree. I need like a hot drink. I love a blanket. But this is my like beige to red flag is I love space heaters.
Okay.
And so I will have a space heater next to me on the couch. Even if it's not all that cold outside. It's bad. I know. But
I mean, no, it does sound cozy. I would be having a hot flash.
I follow safety protocols, I promise. So yeah, that's what I do for a reading experience.
That's good. Mine doesn't really change bed or couch. Or like my chair. I don't like, I want to eat in my bed, but I'll have a cup. Because I'm usually like setting up in my bed, not laying down. Yeah. So like I'm like setting up. So I'll still have like a coffee on my nightstand.
Yeah.
So.
Man, we've been on how many podcasts now? And we keep finding new little facets of each other.
Oh my gosh, look at us. That's so fun. That was a good question though.
Okay. Well, it is time for one of our favorite parts of the show, our weekly reading roundup.
This is where we each share what we just finished, what we're currently reading, and what's up next on the old TBR.
Okay, Beccah, what have you recently finished?
So I have finished a few things that I can't talk about because we've already talked about them on the podcast. Not that they're completely off.
We find ourselves in this loop a lot.
I know.
Where you will talk about a book that sounds so interesting that I'm like, ooh, I need to read that. But then we already talked about it on the podcast, so I can't bring it. Yeah.
Maybe we need to make exceptions if it's like we haven't read it yet. Like if it's the
The upcoming. Ooh, I like that.
That way we could still give feedback on what we thought about it.
Yeah, I do feel like there's a lot of books that we don't fully get into that we then like don't ever revisit.
So I will say ones I haven't brought and ones that have not kind of already been mentioned because I read a couple you suggested. I just read Bromantasy.
Oh.
Have you heard about it?
I have heard of this one. It's got like the really cute little cover.
Yes, where they're like on a horse. It's like two guys on a horse and like really floral fantasy looking. Yeah. Okay, let me read it to you and then I will break it down. 2 heroes, 1 brain cell. I will say, I didn't think of these guys were going to be dumb as rocks.
Wait, like that's like the thing, like a himbo.
Yes, and I do not think that they're dumb as rocks, but okay.
Okay.
Because I was like, they're going to be so stupid, and they're really not. So, 2 heroes, 1 brain cell. Bromantasy is a cozy, queer fantasy about the mortifying ordeal of being known by your totally platonic best friend and the epic quest that might force you to confront the truth. This deluxe.
Stop. That is so cute.
It is really cute. This deluxe limited first run edition will feature beautifully designed colored edges. Sometimes good reads. You really, okay. Fellas, is it gay to kiss your BFF while on a quest through the forest you're unqualified for? Juniper O'Reilly is good at only 2 things: demolishing a pint of mead and finding the perfect skincare routine. And remember, this is kind of like so like in like medieval times a little bit.
That's hilarious.
Everything else, taking care of the farm, bartering for goods, any sort of manual labor falls to Juniper's best friend, the absurdly capable, endlessly patient Mo. But when Juniper accidentally volunteers them both for a quest to kill a fearsome monster, he knows he has finally gotten in over his head. Juniper hates camping, he hates the dark, and there's no way all of these forged mushrooms are going to set well in his stomach. One thing he doesn't hate, how good most thighs look. Sorry. This is so cheesy. Okay. One thing he doesn't hate is how good most thighs look in his questing pants. He doesn't have time to think about that, though, with a monster to hunt and their futures on the line. But monsters come in all shapes and sizes. When Juniper and Mo realize that the terrifying beast they've sworn to kill is just a scared little girl torn from her family, they're off to find not only the true villain of the story, but maybe even a happy ending. Okay, there are so many things about that like that don't even happen in the book. So that's really funny.
Really?
Also, they never ride a horse in the book. And so I think it's
interesting. I wonder how much of that was like, not like a sacrifice for the tone, but like how much in order to like convey the type of tone of the book, they like maybe embellished a little bit.
So the tone of the book is very much like that. Yeah. I don't remember them eating mushrooms. I mean, maybe I could be wrong. I mean, they do eat, but like, I don't. Like they go in town and like buy anyways. So
what a
I don't
funny
remember
thing
mushrooms.
For you to be like, actually there aren't mushrooms.
I don't remember there being mushrooms because Juniper. The only reason I know that is because Juniper is like very picky about like what they're eating and like what they're like because he is like a little diva.
That's so funny.
They're also not hunting monsters. They're hunting a dragon.
I mean,
I guess you can call it a monster.
Semantics.
Those are 2 very different images in my head. But anyways, so I will tell you this, guys. This story is so silly and so funny. I'm not saying this is like a 5-star like written book. I think I only gave it like 3 stars. But it's just silly. Like I was like laughing the whole time. Some people did not like the silliness of it, like reading some of the reviews. Some people, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like they're just like walking through the forest the whole time. Which I mean,
how many books though out there are just also walking through the forest while like character development happens,
right? But there's also like banter. There's also like encounters in the forest. Like it's not just like them walking through the forest for 300 pages
with nothing happening.
So but yeah, it's these 2 best friends who like share a house in this like little village, and they've been best friends for like forever. You definitely get like alluding to like that there's probably
a little bit more.
Like they're both aware of it, but they also both like don't do anything about it kind of thing. Which again, the setting, typically you're not going to find books in that setting with that type of relationship. Yeah. But also because it's also just so silly. It's funny.
It sounds so cute.
It is cute. I will say also 0 steam.
Okay.
Like not at all.
Like fade to black or just nothing?
Nothing. Because there's not even like a moment for them to like the very end.
I see.
It's one of those kind of books. But again, like not needed. Honestly, I don't think it would have fit the tone because the tone is so silly and goofy. there are a lot of, I wish I could like think of an example, but there's a lot of like pop culture words like mentioned throughout, or like phrases or things, which
But
again,
it didn't bother you?
well, no, because it's done in a way that it could mean something in connection to the story, but it has the double meaning of like what we
Wait, that's cool.
know it is.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think of a good example. I should have wrote one down, but like say it was like canceling somebody. That's not one of them, but it would be like, oh, we need to like cancel them, and it would be like them stopping using them for something, or we need to cancel that and them stop using it. But then it also means we need to cancel them because they're out of line, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of has this like double entendre.
That's cool.
That again, the canceling is not in there. That's not a great example. Again, some people saw that on the reviews. I saw like, oh, that was so dumb, whatever. So it
I mean,
really
obviously
is,
it's not going to be for everybody.
It's not for everybody. And it is like super obvious that the author is using really trendy phrases, but she's doing it in a way that's supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
And the characters are so absurd that it like doesn't even matter.
It gives me some vibes of, and I haven't read them. I would like to read them. I actually own a book by the author, and I don't remember what her name is, but those books, it's like That Time I Got Drunk and Needed a Love Potion and a Demon.
Yes. Those seem really silly to me. I haven't read them, but I know what books you're talking
which
about.
I actually think those are like very spicy, maybe, potentially.
So
I haven't
very
read
opposite
them.
of this.
But like tone-wise.
Because I will say like the whole book, you're in Juniper's head, which he's kind of the diva of the two. Sometimes that, like, I wish that, like, I could get the other perspective a little bit, because he's, like, he's, like, trying to have character development, but he also just, like, still cares about a skincare routine. I'm like, dude,
That's so funny.
you've got to, like, still be
bother
you.
you?
No, but it was, like, I don't want to say it got annoying after a while, but his voice is so strong in like these kind of ridiculous things that as you're trying to be convinced of his like love for this character, he's like, oh, like I'm making this up. This is not actually in the story. Like, oh, I want to follow him anywhere, but I don't know because I really also need good skincare. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, it's funny the first couple times,
But
I wish that kind of would have faded a little bit.
Turn a bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think I would have rather him had like the major shift a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
But anyways, I definitely recommend it. I think you'd like it. It's fun. It's silly. A good kind of like silly intro to fantasy, or even...
Well, I reckon I would read this, and it's giving me like funnier tone, but giving me similar vibes of that Violet Thistlewaite is not a villain anymore.
Oh,
that
okay.
was in my top 10 last year.
Yes, I've not read it yet.
Yeah.
I still borrowed it from you and I have it.
Yeah, you still have my book. But I loved that book so much. And this is giving me similar cozy fantasy, but maybe a little bit funnier.
It definitely feels like cozy fantasy. I mean, Juniper just wants to live in the cottage and like crochet and work in his garden.
Same.
And he's really annoyed that his like roommate just wants to go on these grand adventures, because he's like, no, like I don't actually want to leave this house. Like I will follow you anywhere, but also like I want you to stay here.
Can I follow you like to the living room?
Right. So there is a little bit of like kind of a selfishness about him, where it's like he will do anything for the other guy not to like leave, I guess. And so, but again, all that growth and character development happens. It just like takes a little bit longer than I think I would have liked. It's still funny, but
It sounds super cute.
yeah, I recommend it. It's a quick read. I think the audiobook was like 9 hours or something.
That was such a good review. Like, I feel like you talked about that very well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. What about you? What are you reading? Or what did you just read?
So, what I just finished is a mystery book.
Surprise, surprise.
But I think it's one that you would like.
Okay. I do like mystery. I just don't like all your mystery.
Yes, I know. I know there's a distinction there. And I think this is the one that will like fall on your side, because it is like a bit of a classic mystery.
Okay. Cozy or more like...
No.
Okay.
No, it leans towards mystery thriller, but it is like a riff on an Agatha Christie, like, And Then There Were None.
Okay.
So it is called The Ending Writes Itself by Evelyn Clarke.
Yes. Okay. I saw you with this book.
I brought this to book club the other day, and I tried not to talk about it too much because I knew that I was going to have it finished by this time. So I did. I finished it. Let me tell you about it. Actually, first, before I do, Evelyn Clarke, does that ring a bell?
No, I don't think so. Should it?
It should not.
Okay.
Because it is actually a pseudonym for a writing pair of Clarke, which does that name sound familiar to you? And that I didn't know her. She's a screenwriter.
Oh, okay.
Who wrote a book with her dear friend, V.E. Schwab. Of like Addie LaRue.
Which I have not read yet, but you enjoy.
You haven't read Addie LaRue?
No, I haven't. I have it on my bookshelf.
I feel like you're going to like that one.
I think I will too. The reason I haven't read it, and not, you guys know I love spoilers, so it's not that, but I know the whole, like I know what happens in the book. And so like when I've been like, ooh, which one should I read? Like I kind of pass it because I know.
You're such a hypocrite.
I know. Like I'm saying, I know I'll enjoy it, but it's just like not the one I pick up.
Yeah.
I think one of my students wrote a paper about it. So like I know like an in-depth analysis of it, and it kind of ruined it for me a little bit.
I actually think it'll be more of a hit for you than it was for me because of the way you enjoy certain things about fantasy books. I liked it. I actually enjoyed Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil more, which was the one about vampires.
The vampires.
So yes, V.E. Schwab and Clarke came together to write this book. They like challenged each other to like write a little mystery. And in their like thing, it said like, we had a crazy idea. Thank you to our like publishers and editors for going along with it. So this is the ending writes itself. 6 authors, 1 private island, 72 hours to write the ending that will change their lives.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Arthur Fletch, one of the world's best-selling novelists, is a reclusive genius known for his iconic protagonists and fiendish twists. When 6 struggling authors are invited to spend a weekend on his private island, his private Scottish island, I should say, they arrive to discover a shocking secret. Arthur Fletch is dead, and his last book is unfinished. Oh no. I love how that's like the worst thing. Not that he's dead, but that his book is unfinished.
Yeah. But you know what? Like, for fans of some authors, they die before they finish those books. It's like, no.
Exactly. And this is one of those, like, it's a series that has been built up for so long. And like the big twist is like the thing that he left out. Okay. So desperate to publish the novel, Fletch's agent and editor have summoned these writers in the hope that one of them will imagine a worthy ending for his final book.
Okay.
To sweeten the deal, they are offering an irresistible prize. In addition to the honor of ghostwriting the final chapters for a mind-boggling sum, Fletch's team will also help the lucky writer successfully relaunch their own career, guaranteeing future bestsellers. The catch? The writers have just 72 hours to finish Fletch's magnum opus. It's the perfect plot. And then here, all bold. All it needs is a killer ending. Dun, dun, dun.
It does sound fun. It does sound Agatha Christie-like.
Yes.
The one where they all come through the island and like, yeah.
And then start to kind of drop like flies. Yeah.
Which is kind of the second Knives Out. Was it Knives Out that did that?
Oh, Glass Onion?
Yeah.
So I will say, I really enjoyed this. I love a classic mystery. And the way that this started was really cool. It like introduces the different characters in like fun ways where it kind of shifts POV, and it'll start off with the romance writer or the thriller writer.
Oh, that's cute. So it's so bookish too.
Yeah, it is very bookish. It is very much like a commentary on the publishing industry.
Okay.
Like especially as the book goes on, like it gets really into like,
I like that.
Yeah.
That sounds so fun.
It was really fun. The Knives Out reference, it does the thing. And I feel like Goodreads had a lot of mixed reviews about this. And I think for a lot of people, the pacing was kind of an issue because it does the thing in Knives Out where halfway through it tries to like give you a lot of information that you didn't have at the beginning to like shift the way that you then see
everything.
Yeah. Which
does it make it unsolvable until they do that kind of thing?
I mean, again, because of the pacing, there's a lot of setup. And so I feel like this happens in a lot of like classic mysteries too, where there's not even like a murder for very far in. Like it takes a lot of time to set up, and then midway through you get some information and then things really start happening.
Okay.
But again, because of that, the pacing was a little funky, and I could see how some people, especially if they're like looking for a more thriller, they probably, it wasn't what they were looking for.
Okay.
But I really liked it. It was fun.
I think I would read it, honestly. And I think my husband really liked this one. So maybe this is one we could like audiobook together or something.
Yeah.
because I think that's right up our alleys.
I will say the audiobook I didn't love. I like have my library copy here.
Because of the voices or? Okay.
Yes. There's a lot of accent work going on in this where like the overall narrator voice was like British, and then the characters are from the US, different places in the UK. And so like the narrator tries to like
switch between,
differentiate between them. But also like one of the characters is from Dallas and has the most like deep South accent, like talking about Knives Out, Benoit Blanc type of not like not a Texas accent.
Okay.
And like, so like that bothered me a little bit. I have been trying to do more like actually having the physical copy of a book that I'm listening to on audio so I can go back and forth. And I really enjoy like finishing the book in physical copy.
Yeah. I feel like you've achieved something.
Yeah. So I would recommend picking this up in the physical copy because there's also some fun stuff. Like at the ends of chapters, sometimes it'll do like a found on the computer of blah, blah, blah. And it's like cute correspondence or nice text messages or so it's kind of nice to see. The audio was fine. Just don't let it bother you.
Yeah.
The accents. So
yeah,
it was cute. I recommend.
Okay. I think I'll read it. Like it sounds like something I would read.
Yay. I finally got you to read a mystery.
I know. That isn't like Agatha Christie or.
Right.
Which, I mean, I do read others, but books like that I tend to be okay to read, or like cozies.
Yeah.
But no, that sounds fun. I also like the bookish stuff. So I think I'm definitely in.
Yes.
Very cute.
Success. I'm so proud of myself.
Well, no one's like slasher.
No, it's not a slasher.
Yeah, that's usually the books you bring.
It's not gory, not
someone like found dead in a ditch and like
ghosts
and
killing people.
I like the ghosts, but yes,
not ghost killing people. Yep.
That's so funny.
Okay, what are you currently reading?
Okay, Summer, I had to bring this book, and like, have I only read a couple pages of it? Yeah. But I had to bring it for a very specific reason.
Yeah?
It happened.
It happened.
Do you know what it is?
I don't know what it is.
Okay, so do you remember the last podcast when I bought from one of the St. Louis bookstores, I bought one, no one, and 100,000. And I said that I wanted the guy to be like, oh my gosh, you're like so smart for getting this book. Like,
oh, right.
You're such a good like reader.
Our whole thing of like booksellers tell people that they have good taste.
Yeah. Okay. So
that happened?
It happened.
Shut up.
And did I feel like the smartest person in the room? Yes, I did. Can I say this author's name? Not really. So am I the smartest person in the room? No. But we're going to go with it. Okay. So I was at a bookstore in Fort Worth called Recluse Books. So cute if you're in the Dallas, Fort Worth area. They were kind of a unique bookstore anyways, like a lot of different titles, not what you're just going to find in like a normal bookstore. Like not a ton of like current bestseller type things, just kind of some interesting titles. They also had like one shelf of used books. And I just, of course, like I'm going to go look at that too because I'm looking at the whole store. And on the very top, facing towards me, is this woman right here looking at me. Okay.
Oh, I recognize that name.
Okay. So it is the Diary of Anais Nin. That's what I don't know if I'm saying it right.
I mean, I think so.
It's like Anais, but there's like 2 dots over the I. So like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah. A little diacritic on it.
Yeah. You're the speech pathologist, not me. So Anais Nin. I brought a book from Anais Nin a few podcasts ago, probably like 6 or 7 ago. And it was the one that we have the ongoing joke now in our friendship that says, girl, just break up with your man already.
The best Goodreads review ever.
So she is the author who like really...
She's like a diarist?
Yes. So this is the diary of. So this is like her obviously her diaries. And this is one of the most famous things, but she also wrote books. But what she's kind of a big deal for... 1931 to 1934. So that gives you like time frame. She was writing like erotica at that time.
Right.
I have not read, like there's one.
Oh, you haven't read her erotica?
I haven't. Well, I mean, I've read that one book where there's like, I mean, there's things, but it wasn't like erotica, like what I would consider erotica. That's not my top genre, just so you guys know. Like, I'm not just out there like...
So I'm like, you haven't read that one?
No. But what intrigues me about her is that she was a woman doing that in the 30s.
Yeah.
I'm more intrigued on like the fact that she was publishing that type of material, and her diaries, I think, really like delve into like a lot of that kind of stuff. There is not actually a blurb on the book, so I might have to pull it up really quick on Goodreads. Goodreads has like 2 lines. Oh, what?
What did the bookseller tell you?
Oh, wow. Really forgot the whole point of my story. That's my ADHD showing. So I go to check out, and the guy who's at the front, and he's like young, like probably younger than me, probably around your age, probably. And he's like, "Oh, you picked up the Anais Nin book." And I was like, "Yes." And I already was like, "Oh my gosh, like, you know who that is?" And he was like, "I'm reading her right now." And like we walked over to the bookshelf, and he's like, "I'm reading this one," which is like the most famous novel. It has like Delta in it. I can't remember. Delta of Venus.
Oh.
That's like one of her big ones. And again, it's erotica.
Oh.
So he was like, "What a good pick." He was like, "I've been like kind of looking at that, but like I didn't need it." And he was like, "I'm just like so happy that like someone bought it and knew who she was and like all these things." And I was like, "Yes, tell me more about how I know authors that not everyone else knows about."
You're like, "Yeah, I totally picked this because I'm so cultured and so in the know."
Cultured. And I got it for $7. Okay. And it's an old.
It is actually really cool.
It's really old
looking.
And
like, yeah.
I will say this is only volume 1 though. Like she has another volume of diaries. But
from the same years?
The second picks up in 34 and goes to 39.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is what Goodreads says about it. This celebrated volume begins when Nin is about to publish her first book and ends when she leaves Paris for New York. That's it.
That's it. Okay.
But yeah, so
I am intrigued by her.
Let's look what the Newsweek said about it when it came out. Or when this book was published. Sensitive and frank, a unique blend of the poetic and the precise, she charts the human chemistry of her relationships, noting changes, catalysts, fissions, Fissions? Fissions? F-I-S-S-I-O-N-S?
I don't know.
Fission.
Gimlet-eyed.
Fissions, probably. Her diary is a dialogue between flesh and spirit.
Wow.
Because I do think she documents a lot of
her relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'm very intrigued by this. I cannot wait to hear what you think when you finish it.
I mean, to be honest, it's because I'm so smart. It's probably not a book for everybody. It may not even be a book for me, I'm gonna be honest. But I'm just like excited to like see the tone and all that of it, and just kind of read some of her writing, like autobiographical writing.
Yeah.
So,
well, I reckon I'll wait for your review.
You're probably not gonna read it, but it's okay.
I do like diaries.
I also brought this little guy. Sorry, I'm also currently reading. I'm just gonna give it a little shout out.
Fine, break our rules.
I know, sorry. I've seen it at a couple bookstores recently. It's called On Booze, B-O-O-Z-E, but it's F. Scott Fitzgerald, and lots of like quotes where he's referencing like alcohol, obviously, but like also some of his like almost like the couple I've read, there's been almost like some like essay like things on like how he feels about some of that. I'm assuming some of them is like journals. It's very short.
Like a compilation of like all the things he did that talked about alcohol, because obviously he was like an alcoholic, and it's like, so it's not all positive necessarily, because like it kind of came close to ruining his life and stuff like that. Yeah. So anyways, I just thought that was really cute. It is really cute.
I've seen it at a few bookstores. It's like,
you read a couple quotes from it the other day, and they were real fun.
They're real fun. It's like 100-ish pages. It's really short. So, okay. Sorry I broke the rules, but I had to.
I get it. It's okay.
Okay. What are you reading?
I am reading something that I have not told you about.
On purpose?
Kind of. I have a feeling you've never heard of this.
Why? Because you're so smart as a reader, and it's like an author that no one knows.
I've heard of this before, but then I saw it the other day when I went into Best of Books in Edmond on their like staff recommendations list. And it reminded me, and I put a hold in, and it just came in. So it's called I See You've Called In Dead by John Kenney. There's like a bunch of like newsprint in the lettering. Okay.
I see you called in dead.
I see you've called in dead.
Okay.
Like called into work. Listen to some of these like achievements. Audiophile Earphones Award winner.
Earphones award winner?
I shouldn't have led with that one. I should have led with an NPR 2025 Books We Love, Indie Next and Library Reads pick, 2026 Gotham Book Prize finalist, 2026 Lariat Adult Fiction Reading List pick. Yeah.
Okay.
So like it's got some acclaim.
It's got some clout.
Yeah.
That's such a fun word.
Uh-huh. And then here's a starred review from Booklist that I think gives a good idea of how to set yourself up for this. So with the satirical bite of Richard Russo's Straight Man, I don't know that one, but I do know this one. The introspection of Frederick Bachman's A Man Called Uva.
Okay.
And the reinvention of Andrew Sean Greer's Less, which was like an old, it was like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Pulitzer Prize winner. So here's the setup. Obituary writer Bud Stanley isn't really living his best life. He's fallen into a funk after a divorce. She left him for another man who, in fairness, was far more interesting.
Okay.
He's not doing his job well. He's given up on dating, and he's about to be fired for accidentally publishing his own obituary one mildly drunken night. Though technically the company can't legally fire a dead person. As Bud awaits...
I am so intrigued. Okay.
As Bud awaits his fate at work, he does the only logical thing. He goes to the wakes and funerals of total strangers to learn how to live again.
Okay, so he posts his obituary when he was drunk one night.
Yeah.
Then he just like pretends to be dead after that?
No, not quite. Okay. So all of this happens in like the first chapter, so I don't feel like this is spoilery at all.
Okay.
But like he has a blind date set up, and he like goes to the bar, he like brings flowers, and then the woman is like 45 minutes late, so he's like 2 beers in at this point, and the bartender feels bad for him, and then the girl shows up. She's like, hey, so actually I gotta cancel our date because I'm getting back together with my boyfriend. And he's like, oh, congratulations, that's awesome. She's like,
for you?
Yeah. She's like, did you get me flowers? And he's like, oh no, these are for the bartender. He's going through like a really rough time. Like, here you go, man. And the bartender's like, thanks. And then he's like, do you want to like we can like drink to you, like reuniting? She's like, actually no, my boyfriend's outside waiting on me right now. And he's like, oh well, like he can come in too. And that's like the type of tone this is.
Okay.
So like disastrous event of this blind date.
Okay.
He goes home a little drunk and is like writing this crazy obituary, like the son of the inventor of blah blah blah, who had all of these amazing achievements, died. And he's just like playing around, but then he
accidentally publishes
it and he can't delete it. And so he like goes to bed, wakes up, goes to work in the next morning, and everyone's like, his key card doesn't work. Everyone's like, oh my god, you're alive. Like a lot of people, and I think that's like going to be a recurring bit throughout this, like, oh hey, I heard you died.
That is funny though.
Yeah. So he's like immediately placed on suspension because this was like a really big problem for this like newspaper company, whatever. And so while he's on suspension, he's just like in this funk, and he is like depressed and doesn't really know what to do, and he ends up going to the funeral of his ex-wife's mother, who he like, that was another thing, like he had this bad blind date, and then he gets the obituary that his like former mother-in-law died. And so he's like thinking about, and while he's at her wake, a woman walks up, this beautiful woman walks up, and he's like, how did you know her? And she's like, oh, I didn't know her, I just like go to funerals. Do you want to come? There's one tomorrow. And he's like, oh, okay. And so I'm only like 40% in.
Okay.
And he's like just went to this funeral, and she's like, did you feel it? He's like, feel what? I feel kind of weird that I'm here and I don't know this person. And she's like, oh, you've got to feel it. So I have a feeling this is going to be like his journey. Like it's said several times.
Do you think it's also like a meet cute with the girl? Like,
I don't know. Maybe.
Since it started with a blind date, that's the only reason I ask. Like, is it going to be him like not trying to find a person, but then also like finding that fulfillment too? Maybe.
I think it's going to be more about his overall journey. Like it said several times, he's an obituary writer that doesn't know how to live.
Okay.
And I think it's going to...
Well, I mean, you're writing obituaries every day. My husband is a funeral director, so... Like,
right.
It's an interesting business.
I think it's going to be a little bit more about like his journey rather than like... I don't think it's a romance necessarily. There might be some romantic subplot to it, but I'm
just curious. The only reason I even think that is because of it started with a blind date.
Right. So. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't lean into the romance, if that makes sense. It starts out very kind of like satirical and like irreverent, where he like doesn't really care about anything. And there were a couple times I've like chuckled listening to it, but I was almost kind of like put off by this main character guy because he like doesn't care about anything. But I'm already kind of starting to see a turn.
Okay.
And so I am hopeful that this is going to be.
It sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I reckon I would read it.
Yay!
I am curious to see like how you feel at the end of it.
Yeah.
But I do think I would read it. Like, I like stories like that.
Yeah.
So, you know what it's been making me think about this whole time, and I literally had to like Google it because I couldn't remember what it was called.
What?
So there's I'm not even going to say a Christmas movie. I'm going to say a holiday movie. There's a holiday movie on Netflix, and it came out in like 2017. And one holiday night, my mom and I turned this movie on. We don't know what it's about. It's called Pottersville.
Wait, like It's a Wonderful Life, Pottersville?
No.
Okay. Maybe it's a reference, but not like fully.
Yeah, no, it's called Pottersville, and my mom and I are like, okay, let's watch it, because we've watched like all the holiday movies or whatever. And let me tell you what, my mom is not into weird stuff. My mom is not into like reading Anais Nin because she's just curious on like, what an interesting thing to be doing in the 30s. That's not my mom, right?
Yeah.
This is all going to be important, okay? This movie, you're going to laugh, okay? I promise. It's a quirky holiday comedy starring Michael Shannon as a man who, after discovering his wife's furry hobby. So he comes home one night and his wife is cheating on him in the bedroom dressed in full furry.
Stop.
With someone dressed in full furry.
And you're watching this with your mother.
And my mom was like, what is happening? And I'm like, okay, so mom, these are furries. And I was like, but like, we strangely were kind of like, what is going on? And so like we kept watching. So he leaves, obviously storms out because he catches his wife
cheating on him
as a furry, and gets really drunk and runs through town in a gorilla suit. He puts on like this, he gets really drunk, he puts on this gorilla suit, he's like mad, and he just like kind of stumbles out and like runs through town. Well, this leads to people thinking he's Bigfoot. And so this entire like news people are coming and whatever, because people saw this figure, but really it was just because he got sad and drunk and accidentally ran through town in a gorilla. But the town starts getting like a lot of business because it's like a small sleepy town. It's getting a lot of business and all these things. And
I don't know if I'm mad at this or not. Keep going. Yeah,
well, so the fact that my mom and I watched the whole thing and by the end we were hysterically laughing.
Where does Christmas come in?
That's why I said it's not. I want to say Christmas holiday. Okay. It's set in Christmas. One of the characters on the cover has a Santa hat on. But yeah, so the film, let's see. So it leads to him being mistaken for Bigfoot and boosting the struggling town's economy. Yeah.
Why are you talking about this?
Oh, that's what you just said you don't understand. Because he got drunk and wrote an obituary, and the whole time I'm just thinking, oh, it's like the guy who got drunk and dressed like Bigfoot.
In a gorilla suit. What a connection.
Was that my ADHD again? So I'm amazing. Sorry, but like I felt like the furry Bigfoot Christmas movie needed to get a nod in our podcast.
What a time to, July.
And I watched Christmas in July, and I watched it with my mother, Summer. You know my mother.
Yeah.
She was so uncomfortable with the furry stuff, which I mean, okay. But the wife's big defense was like she wasn't really cheating on him because she was in furry.
The furry was cheating on him. But was the furry even married to him? We don't have to go into it.
Yeah, we'll talk later. But we're going to watch it.
Sure, I'll watch this with you.
Okay. And you're going to be laughing the whole time. So anyways, let's move on.
What a little rabbit trail that went on.
I'm sorry.
That was amazing.
The people need to know. Pottersville.
Need to know. Do you recommend it?
Strangely, yes.
Okay.
Like, it's terrible. Like, it's not a great movie, but it's just so funny.
Gotcha.
And I do think, I'm wondering if it is a nod to like the struggling town of Pottersville in It's a Wonderful Life. But that's another tangent, so we won't go there either.
Okay.
Okay.
So that was I See You've Called In Dead. What do you have upcoming?
Okay, summer. At our book club, somebody brought this book because she gets, like, she has all these, like, different subscriptions. Like, I think this is a Fairy Loot one. I think. Yes, Fairy Loot.
Beautiful.
So she was like, guys, this is up for grabs. And I was like, well, let me see it. And everyone was like, wait, Beccah. And I was like, I just want to see it. We can still have it up for grabs, but I want to see it, okay? Because it is beautiful. It has a unicorn on the front of it.
It's like gold foil.
It is gorgeous. And it's called The Unicorn Hunters by Katherine Arden. Well, so everyone's like, okay, like, what's it about? And it's beautiful.
Well, there's artwork inside.
Artwork inside. It's so pretty.
Wait, is it like a reversible on the inside of the flaps?
Oh, I didn't even notice that. It sure is.
Very cool. Okay.
That's very cool.
Okay.
So everyone's like, well, what is it about? And I start reading, and let me read it to you, and then we'll discuss. Anne of Brittany, so as a location, was a child when her land was invaded, her castle besieged, and her royal father driven to his death. Now Brittany is occupied by her enemies. Anne's treasury is empty, and only one thing is lacking to complete her realm's subjugation. She is required on pain of the sword to marry the King of France. But Anne cannot. She has promised her dead father that Brittany would never be conquered. Defiantly, she betroths herself in secret to France's greatest enemy. But in a world where courts spy on each other through magic, there's only one way to solemnize this illicit union. Which, did we all have to look up that word that night?
Yep. Solemnize.
Yeah. It means to, like...
formalize?
To formalize something. Under the guise of a hunting party, she takes her court deep into a forest, a strange place dogged with rumors of ancient enchantments, a place where diviners cannot see. She tells the French that she has gone there to hunt the unicorns, and I think it's so funny that it's just referred to as
the French.
She tells the French that she has gone there to hunt unicorns. It's a ruse, a lie. But when, against all expectations, a unicorn does appear, and a wounded stranger stumbles from the trees and falls at her feet, and is plunged into a world of enchantment where a doomed sovereign might find the power to change the destiny of her nation or be lost in the mist forever. I was also really bothered the other night when I read this out loud. That mist is like in the last sentence, but nowhere else in the blurb does it talk about a misty forest.
Yeah, that really bothered you.
It really did.
That has so much going on there.
It does. So while I was reading it, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this sounds so much like, I teach history of the English language, and I was like, this sounds very much like, I thought at first it was like
medieval.
Well, I thought it was like French occupation. So I was thinking like 1066, like William the Conqueror, because I was like, it's like how the Maire French's king, and I was like, William the Conqueror? Gross. So all the things, but it's actually a little bit later, the 1400s is what we looked up. She's a real person, which I did not know at first. I was a little confused because they're spelling Brittany like with a Y. And for a while, like England was known as like Brittany. And I thought they were doing a play on that and like changing the spelling. But no, there was like a like
area of France.
An area of France called Brittany. And this woman was real. And I read her like wiki page and crazy. She was married to like 3 different kings. Probably not by choice, probably conquered and passed around. So this story is kind of like the alternate history, kind of like Lady Jane Grey. What is that what that book's called?
My Lady Jane.
Yeah, My Lady Jane, where it's like what would have happened if she didn't have to marry the King of France. Which I love that they have to bring magic into these scenarios to write that alternate history and unicorns. But I also read that some people think that she really is the inspiration for the famous unicorn painting called like The Last Unicorn, I think. It's like a tapestry.
Yeah.
There's a little fence around the unicorn. It's like really famous. It's not like known for sure, but a lot of people think that that was like trying to resemble her relationship with the France king or something, her being trapped or whatever. So some people think that's the inspo. So anyways, very like nerdy early Brit history. So probably not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah, Beccah was like, "Oh, I'll read the setup and then we can see who wants it." She read it. She's like, "Okay, no, this book is mine.
This is mine." Because I'm probably the only one in that room, to my defense, who you maybe like you would like it, I think, but like most of them would not care. I mean, that's why the girl brought it to a book club, because she was like, "Guys, I'm not going to read this."
Yeah.
And I also got a beautiful book out of it.
I will say, I'm intrigued, but it also sounds and looks dense. So
it could be. We'll see. I was about to defend it, but I don't know.
I would say I want you to read it and then tell me what you think if you think I will like it.
I do know that we kind of like, I really deep dive that night, and the author is like super brilliant, like studied in
like PhDs
France,
and things.
PhDs in like French and Russian, like literature, and so she's legit. So
I'm sure it's going to be well done.
Okay, what about you?
Okay, up next for me, this book has been almost my up next book for the last 2 podcasts.
Okay.
I like brought it with me and then switched at the last minute for something else. So yes, now it is finally time. It's another library book and I'm like running out of time on my library. So I need to read it so I can return it. It is called Mother Tongue by Sarah Novich, which I have pointed out to you before in a bookstore because I was like, oh my gosh, this is the author of I almost said Well Met. That is so funny.
That is funny.
Not Well Met.
That is not.
True Biz. The author of True Biz, which was a novel several years ago that I read and loved about like a deaf residential school.
Yeah, I was about to say, you guys can't see the cover, but the cover is just like the text ASL. Basically, but behind each letter is the ASL sign.
Yes.
Which is really cool.
Yes. So this is a memoir. Let me read you about it. An unruly, defiant, breathtaking history of becoming. You could say it's about becoming deaf and becoming a parent, but it's also about how ordinary people dismantle oppression one word, one sign, one bold act of love at a time, says Greg Marshall, the author of Leg. Haven't heard of that one.
I don't know if I'm going to read that one. Leg.
Sarah Novich's early years were steeped in music, Bible study, and a strong desire to fit in. But when she failed her school's mandated hearing test, her worldview was thrown into chaos. Desperate not to be marked as a different, she told no one, staying in the hearing world by brute force for as long as she could. Eventually unable to ignore the fact that she was deaf, Novich sought out other deaf people and was welcomed into a tight-knit community rooted in the beauty and joy of American Sign Language. Novich realized that rather than maintaining the facade of her old life or trying to straddle 2 worlds, she would need to cultivate an existence in the space between. Now the mother of 2 young sons, one biological and hearing, the other adopted and deaf, Novich reflects on her life both before and after parenthood. She's raising her children within the deaf world, offering them things her younger self needed, all the while knowing that, as her children grow, their own paths will branch off from hers in ways she cannot fully predict or plan for. Interwoven with Novich's personal story is a remarkable portrait of America through the reflections on some of its most complex histories, the rise of the Christian right, the thorny world of international adoption, and above all, the deaf and disabled community's stubborn survival in the face of persistent oppression. Novich's clear, bold voice is one readers will hold on to, learn from, argue with, and be inspired by, as she asks us to recognize difference as a source of opportunity rather than fear, as a chance to draw families and communities together and to build something new.
That sounds so good. So is it memoir, I guess?
Yeah, it's her memoir.
Okay. Because I was like, obviously it's nonfiction vibes, but sounds more memoir.
Yes. And it doesn't look very long. It's only like 200 something pages, which honestly, there's a lot of like back stuff at the end too, like glossary and acknowledgements. And so it's like 240-ish, I want to say. And I'm really curious about it. It seems very broad. I was in because I loved True Biz so much and was interested in like the ASL deaf community part of it. But this seems like it goes into a lot more than just that.
I like the part about like the children and like what she's...
Yeah.
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah. So I'm curious to read it. I hope I love it. I'm sure it will be profound and all the things.
Well, I mean, obviously it sounds like a U-book with your interest in speech pathology and like all of that anyways. And that community, like I know that you advocate for it a lot. Like I hear you all the time talk about things like that. So I think you're going to enjoy it probably. Let me know. Because I think I would reckon I'd read it if like, I kind of sometimes struggle with like some
nonfiction.
But it's not nonfic. It is memoir. So that makes it a little bit different. But I do kind of struggle sometimes with those books if I can't get into it. Yeah. Depending on the writing. So
and I will say there is not an audiobook option for this one that I have found. True Biz. I want to say there was an audiobook for True Biz, but I read the actual physical copy of it, and it was so cool because there was a lot of interesting on the page things of like the way we do dialogue markers for spoken language versus signed language.
Interesting.
And,
Okay.
True Biz was so good. I want everyone to read that. It was so good. I don't think you've read it.
I haven't.
Did I buy a copy of that because it was like one of my top books of the year that I read it, maybe like 2022, 23. So I'm curious to see if any of that stuff carries over. I know this isn't the same format. It's nonfiction
it's
memoir
but
versus.
Still, I think you're going to enjoy the content no matter what.
Yeah.
It's more to me how, I don't want to say difficult is the reading, but if it's super dry, sometimes that's what's harder for me because I just like can't get into it.
Sure.
Not that I don't care about the content, but I just struggle. It would take me like 2 months to read it instead of like 2 days. You know what I mean?
Well, I got to get on it because it's got to go back to the library.
I'm loving your little library representation over here.
I know. This is still from my like library haul that I had where I have actually made it through a lot of the physical books.
You have. I'm proud of you.
I have. So that's been my summertime fun is reading library books. Okay. That was our reading roundup.
Bum, bum, bum.
We were booking it today.
We were.
Yeah.
We were.
Up next, it is time for our spotlight segment.
I love a good spotlight segment.
And today we're going to do something fun. So way back, maybe even first episode,
It's early.
we talked about the idea of You've Got Mail retellings, which You've Got Mail, old, LOL.
90s.
It is 90s. I mean, I guess it is.
It's old
by
to some.
movie standards, maybe like an older film. Nora Ephron movie starring Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. One of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, like a core movie to a lot of people.
Yes.
So the reason that we kind of brought this back, well, for a long time, like she said, we made a comment like, oh, we should do a spotlight segment over You Got Mail retellings at some point. But the other day at a book club, one of our friends, one of the book bros in OKC, was going off on
A little rant that he goes on often
about how he does not like You Got Mail. And listen,
he has points.
Yeah, he does. But Clay is also like, he's a romance reader. Like he loves all the books we're talking about. So the fact that he doesn't like You Got Mail is shocking to a lot of us.
Yeah.
But his main thing is he just doesn't love how like manipulative.
He puts her out of business.
Yes. But then like he doesn't like the manipulation of he knows this whole time and that she doesn't. He doesn't like that trope, I think. So anyways, we were all giving him a hard time the other day. And so on the way here, I was like, let's do it. So we can call out Clay and his ridiculous opinions about Tom Hanks. And I'm saying that with my full chest.
Okay.
Ridiculous.
So
Just kidding.
let's get into the actual trope of it. So it is based off an old like play or like short story that then became The Shop Around the Corner, which then was remade into, I can go into all of this because I love this. The Grand Old Summertime, the Broadway musical She Loves Me. It's the idea of two people that maybe are at odds in person, but are falling in love through some sort of like anonymous correspondence.
Yep.
And You've Got Mail, the 90s movie version, turned it into like AOL chat rooms.
Which is so cute. Yeah.
So cute. The dial-up sounds and all the things. But it has been redone and redone and redone in many different ways.
Film and book.
And I think there's just something about the idea of falling in love with someone by getting to know them intellectually, emotionally, their soul, rather than like
Before
in-person
you
attraction.
know them in person. Yeah.
So we're going to talk about some You've Got Mail retellings.
What is the most recent You Got Mail retelling that you've read? Do you know?
You know, I actually don't know because I read a lot of these. And so they come up a lot. Do you know the last one you read?
Okay, I do. And it just came to mind. It wasn't even on our list. It is hold on, let me make sure I get the right title. The Well Played.
Oh, right.
From The Well Met.
Yeah, you just talked about that.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago by Jen DeLuca. That's like the whole thing. Like she starts like this text/email conversation with a guy who she thinks she knows who it is, but it's not.
Right.
It's like the cousin.
Yeah.
And he is responding to her and he knows who she is. And so that is the most recent I read. I just thought about that. I was like, oh, I literally just read one.
Yeah. Well, there are several that we've talked about on the podcast too.
Mm-hmm.
Like we both read the Allie Brady book, Battle of the Bookstores, Battle of the Bookshops.
That one, by the way, I think is really good for people who might not like the big misunderstanding, like conflict.
Yeah.
At the end, because they handle it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty
I
intriguing.
like that one. We also talked about The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy.
Yes. I think that's the podcast that we said we should do a You Got Mail retelling.
That was it?
Yeah, because that was an early book I brought, and it's like 100% a You Got Mail retelling. They're like sending the letters back and forth, and she doesn't know who it is. And again, he figures it out about halfway through, kind of thing.
I still need to read that one because it is You've Got Mail, but cozy fantasy too, right?
And then I think the second one is like Sleepless in Seattle. Like they're all like different old 90s rom-coms, basically.
Oh, I definitely need to read that one. And I'm sure there are others that we have mentioned.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay, let's go through some of the others. Let's do... you want to talk about Divine Rivals?
Oh, Rebecca Ross.
Yeah.
You guys know, if you've been a listener to the podcast for a while, you know that I love Rebecca Ross. She's one of my favorite authors. Before Divine Rivals, I already loved her. But yes, Divine Rivals, the magic typewriter, sending letters. He, again, the guy, it's typically the guy in the story, but not always. But he finds out earlier on who it is. And so he knows he's writing to, but she doesn't. And then... again, it's You Got Mail retelling.
Love
and
it.
It's beautiful.
Love it.
It is set like that one feels more like historical fiction, even though it's fantasy. Book one does. Because book one, you literally, like, it's like during wartime, and it literally feels like we're in like World War I trenches kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's a fantasy made up war between these gods. But it definitely feels kind of historical fiction too.
Early in our friendship, very, very first of your book clubs that I ever went to, I was reading Divine Rivals. And that was back when it was a silent book club. We're no longer a silent book club because we can't be silent. But as I was sitting there reading during book club, I looked up and I said, is this a You've Got Mail retelling? I was so excited. Love that one.
Summer does love her You Got Mail retelling. I do too, but Summer really loves it.
Okay. One of my all-time favorites, and it might be because I read it when I was in high school, and it just was one of those books that became part of my personality, was Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. And it was one...
I've not read that one. I'm going to add it to mine.
Oh yeah, you've got to read it. It's so good. It's like set in the 90s. Actually, it's set around Y2K time. And it's like...
Oh, that's fun.
An IT guy and then a girl in this office, and he is in charge of maintaining security things, and they have been told hey, security can read your email, keep it business, all this stuff, don't be using it for personal correspondence. And so this girl and her bestie that both work at the office, they just send each other emails like crazy. And so he is an IT guy reading her emails and falling in love with her.
Okay.
And then her aspect of falling in love is a little bit different, but I love that
again,
book.
Talking about that, this we see this in movies all the time too. It's like the new Netflix voicemails.
Voicemails for
Isabel. Very similar. Someone falling in love with the other because they don't know who.
Yeah.
That sometimes those are a little bit different because they may not know it's being read by somebody else, which was some of my argument with Clay the other day. Is that so you're okay with that, but you're not okay with this? And it was
yeah. There's a quote in Attachments where she asks him do you believe at love at first sight? And he said, do you believe in love before that?
Oh, cute. Cute. So I could see why High School Summer was swooning at that.
Oh yeah. We both read To Sir with Love by Lauren Lane.
I read that so long ago.
I know, same. And it was a cute, short little set in New York. She's a florist or something.
Yeah, I remember liking it, but not
Yeah.
I think I gave it 3 stars in 2022.
Yeah. So it was just a little light.
Yeah, it was cute though. It's very short, a quick little Retelling.
Thank You for Listening by Julia Wayman.
I've not read it yet, but you have.
I have. There's like a whole section in the middle that is very like correspondence based. And there is one of those like kind of mistaken identities she doesn't know type of thing.
So kind of like You Got Mail adjacent a little bit.
Yes.
Okay.
Loved it. Let's see. Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. You haven't read.
I've not read. It's on my bookshelf at home. And now that I know it's a You Got Mail retelling, I might pick it up sooner than I probably would have.
Yeah. I have a love-hate relationship with Abby Jimenez. And I think this was the first of hers that I was like, okay. And maybe it was the You've Got Mail of it all that like helped me get into it.
Okay.
There's so many on here. Spoiler alert by Olivia Dade. I know Olivia Dade is a very like big... Oh, I've read that.
Stop.
It came out in 2020. I don't remember much about it.
What about the Tweet Cute book?
Yes, Tweet Cute by Emma Lord. There are several on this list that I'm reading that are like on my TBR. That's one of them. Also, Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter.
Okay, I've not read that one, but I've heard of it.
I actually just got a copy of that. Someone was like passing along, and so I took it.
She was trying to tell me it was me. And I was like, Summer, I've never heard of this book.
I was like, okay,
that's how I
said.
I literally just said, like, I've heard of it. I heard of it like an hour ago.
Yeah. Were there any others that you can think of off the top of your head?
I don't think so. Not any like big ones. There are a lot of those like adjacent type novels. But as far as just like a more classic, I think those are probably the big ones.
Yeah.
Again, there's not like anything crazy about this spotlight segment, but we just kind of want to get like on the radar if that's one of your favorite tropes, because there are a lot of lovers of You Got Mail, and there are some really good books out there.
And like I said, I think it's the thing about falling in love with someone over time as you get to know who they truly are. Like you get to see them in that way, even if you don't get to see them physically.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes writing things down, people tend to be a little bit more vulnerable. So I do think it's like that little bit of like vulnerability and seeing things about someone that they might not say out loud.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. To Clay's defense, we have to at least address some of the issues. How do you feel about, in his words, I don't even remember if he said manipulation, but I'm going to say that's his words, about that piece of it where one of them knows and they keep it secret and then they use some of those details to create.
So in every film adaptation, even in the Broadway musical, there's always the scene where the man shows up and realizes that the person he was going to go meet, that he's been corresponding with, is actually the person that he knows and like is in conflict with.
Yeah.
And he goes in and he tries to be like, so you're meeting someone, and she lashes out because this is her enemy and she's anticipating someone that she's been very like looking forward to meeting and has been vulnerable with. And I think that one scene is always the most important.
How that's handled.
And I mean, I don't know. I don't want to like make apologies for it, but I think in relationships all the time, there are things that like we know that the other person doesn't know. And that's part of like what you work through as you figure out like if this can actually work. Maybe there is a little bit of manipulation in it, but like, I don't know.
I think for me, the reason it probably doesn't bother me as much is I do agree. It's not like the whole time typically someone knows, unless you do have a couple of these, like the Isabel voicemails for Isabel, or like the one you talked about, the IT guy, like obviously he knew from the beginning who it was. That does happen sometimes, but typically they don't know at the first. And it does kind of come to this moment where they have that classic scene and the other person doesn't think that they could win that person over, that person will never like them. And they're also being confronted with like their own feelings about it. Like, I thought I was in love with this person, and this is the person who like hurts me or brings out the worst in me or whatever. And so a lot of times it's like, I like the idea of the pulling back because it's like I'm not good enough, or like they would never love me. But then hitting the point where it's like,
but they know me.
But they know me and I know them, and I can't give up on this. So I have to get them to the place where they trust me enough.
Yeah.
Again, I always expect the third act, not necessarily breakup, but the fight of some sort. Sometimes breakup, whatever. But I also think that's so typical for romances.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's that different than some type of miscommunication in almost every romance.
Yeah. And I think that's the point. Like, that's the tension of like, what the audience knows versus what the characters know, they have this big conflict that they have to figure out how they feel about it and overcome, and the way that they overcome it to then have a relationship together. That's that like big satisfying thing.
Yeah. I will say the Battle of the Bookstore one that we read, the thing that was different in that classic scene was that she doesn't blow up on him. It's way more just like
that's right.
It's like kind of just like an adult conversation. And I mean, she is like maybe a little bit frustrated, but at that point she's already realized that she has feelings for him. So she realizes early on, like, I already have feelings for this person, and kind of thinks that he wouldn't be interested. So when she finds out, like, I do think she might be frustrated that he lied, but she doesn't like blow up and get mad. And then it's more like they just talk about it kind of thing, which I thought was a little bit different and maybe a little bit easier for some people to swallow who don't like that whole like
the idea of knowing things that the other person doesn't know. Yeah.
But anyways,
this is so fun. I need to go rewatch. Actually, I think now I'm going to go and rewatch or find an adaptation of She Loves Me, the Broadway musical.
Do it.
Go listen to the cast recording or something. That one's so cute. Have you seen that one?
So.
We gotta go.
Let's do it.
Let's find it.
Also, if any of you guys know one we missed, please tell us.
What are your favorites?
Because we are always on the hunt for new ones.
Always.
So,
seeking the high.
Seeking the high. Oh, I love it.
Okay. Well, that's it for this episode of I Reckon I'll Read It. Thank you for listening and joining in our bookish discussions.
If you enjoyed our podcast, please take a moment to rate and review us on whichever platform you're using to listen. That will help us grow and find more people to talk books with.
Connect with us on social media. You can find us at I Reckon I'll Read It on Instagram, Threads, and now TikTok.
Nice.
Check us out on TikTok. Also, don't forget that we link all of the books that we discuss in our show notes. So if you're curious about any of them, want to check them out, want to find it, there's a link to bookshop.org where you can do that in our show notes.
Nice. Okay, so we're going to cut and run. Join us next episode on I Reckon I'll Read It.
Bye.
But in a world where courts spy on each other through magic, there's only one way to solemnize this illicit union. Which, did we all have to look up that word that night?
Yep. Solemnize.
It means to like...
formalize.
To formalize something. But I felt like we needed to say that because it also kind of sounds like sodomy. Okay. Sorry. Solemnize? People might be like, wait.
Okay. Move on. I see what you mean.
Wow, that's what she got uncomfortable with, but not the furries. Okay.